Hello and welcome to another edition of Open Studios here at NCM Hub. My name is Lilly, Dissette, and today I am joined by teacher Aileen Maconi and several student representatives of the International Cultural Festival at Newburyport High School. Firstly, would you guys mind going around and introducing yourselves?
I'm Sonia.
I'm Greg.
I'm Lainey.
And I'm Ms. Maconi.
Great to have you all here today. And you guys are all juniors, correct?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Now, firstly, would you mind telling me a bit about the festival itself, how it came about, and what were the reasons for founding it?
I think that would be good for Greg to talk a little bit about.
All right, so mainly the festival is kind of give everyone locally an opportunity to explore like different cultures, and also gives the chance for people to like express their culture that they might not have other places. It's a good like interactive place too, because we have anything from just displays, workshops, and activities, also like performances that highlight a lot of different cultures that is not limited to, there's no limitations basically. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a really great project. Now, what impact have you seen the festival have on students and the community over the last 3 years?
I think we've seen a lot of like more student involvement in it, as it really wasn't a big thing a couple years ago, and now we've gotten like students participating that went on like international trips, and students who are passionate about something presenting. I know some seniors are doing a capstone project.
That's great.
Which is big for us, so yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the capstone projects. Last year was the first year we had capstone projects for seniors, and we had 4 seniors who participated in the program, and this year we're up to 12 seniors, so that's a great expansion, and
Yeah.
hopefully it continues to grow.
Absolutely. So in what ways has the program or the festival changed over the last 3 years? Has it evolved at all?
I guess I could talk to that. What we're having more growth in is bringing in outside community groups to participate in displays, crafts, hands-on projects. For instance, this year we'll have an Indigenous People Center, and we have a number of Native American, Indigenous people of North Africa that will be displaying works, also some Indigenous people from Mexico.
That's great. How far do you have to go to find these groups? Are they all within Massachusetts? Do they travel far?
These are all mainly local
Okay.
people or organizations, so within the sort of the North Shore, southern New Hampshire area. Some of the performers are coming from Connecticut, but the organization was local that helped me to put the thing together.
Yeah, that's great. And we definitely have a large Indigenous community in this area. I mean, the
Yeah.
state name alone, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
So what are some takeaways that you're hoping people can receive from attending the festival?
I'm gonna ask Lainey to
All right.
talk about that.
I really hope that people just have a lot more knowledge about culture and more of like an awareness of different people's different, like, I don't know.
Well, so like you said, it's in the name, so kind of just, I know you said there is like a large population, but there's also a population that's completely unaware to it, as it's
true.
not really taught in youth schools, so this can just provide awareness to those.
That's definitely true. That's
Yeah.
a great mission. So when is the festival? And do people need to purchase tickets in advance, or can they just show up?
So it's free entry.
Great.
It's on April 2nd at the high school, all on the first floor, so ranges from the library, cafeteria, and the auditorium, I believe, and it's from 6 to 8:30.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be a really great night. People can come in. So, yes, it's totally free, and it's really for all ages. So families can come, students, young kids, seniors like me, whatever. All different age groups can come because there's activities for everybody. And right in the middle, we'll have a break where we'll have our live performances, which will be an hour of music and poetry and from different cultures, and so I'm very excited about that. We have a number of restaurants that are contributing food, plus we're doing our own multicultural potluck, so after the concert there'll be food from different nations, and then we have a lot of we have several nonprofits that will be displaying information about who they are and how people can get involved in different kinds of multicultural activities beyond this festival. Really, we're trying to use the festival as a way not only to raise awareness, like the way Greg had mentioned, but if we look at the theme of the Global Citizenship Program, for sophomores, their overarching theme is empathy. So when you expose people to different cultures, when people have a chance to learn about different cultures and to meet people from different cultures, you're going to start to develop that empathy because you're starting to learn who they are and they get to learn who you are. So that's one of the aspects of it. For these juniors, they're the ones that are helping to organize the thing, which is why I brought them along. Mm-hmm. So they're learning about cooperation and collaboration and what it takes to get something done. Very important if you're going to be a global citizen. And
Absolutely.
Of course, the seniors with their capstones, they're each following a passion project that has global importance. So we get to see what seniors are thinking about as they're leaving the school, what's important to them with their particular displays.
That's incredible. I think this is an amazing program to implement at the high school. I wish that I had it when I was still in high school. So we've already talked about it a little bit. This year's theme is Indigenous people. Could you tell me a bit about how you selected that group to be highlighted?
Do you guys remember we had the
workshop?
Workshop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the course has a monthly workshop, and we invite guests in to talk about a theme for that particular month. And we did so November is Indigenous Peoples Month. We attended the Indigenous People Day ceremony downtown with the mayor. And that gave us an opportunity to interact with a number of local Native Americans and we were able to invite one of them, Tall Wardfield, to come and to talk about the local history of Native people, which was really very interesting. And then we did rock painting, in which we're going to have at the festival, so people can do that. And we distributed the rock paintings all along the rail trail on Indigenous People Day, which is the day after, or Native American Day, excuse me, which is the day after Thanksgiving, very ironically. So that's where the theme started. There was like this connection, and through that, I was able to, a lot of people reached out. And that helped us to sort of be able to bring in a number of guest artists and that. So I was like, we could just do a whole theme around that,
Absolutely. Do the student organizers get input on the theme too, or is it up to you ultimately?
It depends upon the situation. That kind of arose because so many people were reaching out to me, and it was like I had so many that I thought, well, if we put them in our library, we can make that whole center into a theme around Indigenous people. The other part of our displays will be in the cafeteria, which will be our main exhibition hall, and there people will get a much broader international set of displays that will go on, and these kids have some of the information about those.
Yeah.
Great. So besides rock painting, what will people learn about Indigenous people when they attend the festival?
Well, we didn't really want to put like a limit on knowledge because, as a quote that we kind of go by, the absence of limitations is the enemy of creativity. So we kind of just want people to have a little fun and explore. We don't want to have like a set curriculum, so they can learn anything about where these people are from, how they originated, where they went, what happened. And there's a lot of untold history that we learned about on our workshop night that just goes to show there's a lot that we don't know.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's a really great quote, too. So why do you think it's important for students to learn about Indigenous history?
I think it's really important because, especially living in Newburyport, it's kind of this closed bubble. And when you get out into the real world, just like college, or if you don't go to college, there's going to be a lot of people that you're going to be interacting with and a lot of different cultures. And you just want to know, like, it would be really good to be able to have background on it instead of walking in blindly kind of thing.
I think Sonia, you could add something to this. All three of these students have been on at least one of our student trips, and Sonia is one of those students that just recently went on a trip, and that waking up about different cultures.
Yeah, me and Lainey, we just went on the Dominican Republic trip, and there's the way like they are, like their culture is just a lot different from here, and like they don't have as much opportunities as we have here, and it was interesting to see, especially like when we went to like some of the academies and stuff, seeing how nice it is there versus like it's like a reality shock, like it's like a different country in the baseball academies because it's from the US. So
Yeah, definitely. So all three of you are members of the Global Citizenship Program?
Me and Greg are, and Sonia's not, but she went on the DR trip.
Gotcha. All right. So why did you decide to join the program?
I heard about it. A couple of my friends were in it last year, and I also was really interested in like being able to be part of something that's bigger than myself. Like organizing a festival is really, that takes a lot of effort, but it takes teamwork and a lot of collaboration, and I really wanted to get involved in that.
That's great. What about you, Greg?
So, just to, first of all, about the knowledge, just to learn more, and then also for like leadership experience, as it's like the first major role I've had in a leadership position, and I just like the experience. So
Yeah, those are great answers.
yeah.
So I know that the program takes place outside of the normal school curriculum. How much extra time do you have to devote to participate in this program?
So we have meetings that are like 2 hours. It's like on a schedule.
Okay. Is that every week that you have this
No.
meeting? Okay.
Those are like once every month normally, and then we have in-school time like Clipper Block.
Okay.
But if we want, with the festival, it's been so much work like setting it all up, especially because there's not as many people in the junior class doing it compared to last year, so we've definitely had to take more big roles in the program. So it's been some extra time, definitely. Just like figuring out how to get food from restaurants. We've had to call, it's been a whole process, definitely.
Definitely good practice.
Making posters and
Yeah,
advertisements,
totally.
writing PR statements. And so yes, I've had them come after school to meet with me several times. So it is a big commitment, and I think it's something that's really important. I think for students, one of the things that students need more education on is how to work as a group to make something happen, how to communicate better. We were talking about that on the way here. And I think this is something that, just because of the dynamics of the changing of the way kids interact with each other and the way we communicate with each other has changed. And so the school has to learn about that, and the students have to learn. So that I think that's why I was so excited about the idea of incorporating the festival into the program itself and putting juniors in charge. Because I think it's a huge learning thing to develop that ability to collaborate, cooperate, and to be responsible at the end of the day. Because they are responsible kids, but how do you know how to do that together,
Yeah. Great practice for your future careers only in high school, too. It's fantastic. So what have you learned from your experience in this program? I guess we kind of just talked about that, didn't we?
I think we just, again, more of just collaboration, like Greg said, leadership, definitely,
Yeah.
when trying to figure out how to coordinate the festival and everything.
Great. And were there any specific moments in the Global Citizenship Program that had a big impact on you?
Well, this wasn't like specifically when I was in the program, but prior to it, when we took a school trip to Cuba, they had a lot fewer opportunities, but what they did with those opportunities was really empowering, because we just have opportunities left and right. They might get one every month, and they take it without question, and they make the most of it. And they're really high-spirited and friendly, which is not the picture that was painted by people who told us about Cuba, and it was really surprising almost to see a different world than what we were told.
I think that's a really great perspective. I definitely agree that you kind of have to go to a place to truly understand it, because everyone's depiction of history is different depending on where you're from, so you really have to go there and experience it yourself to understand. Now, speaking of travel, I know that you just returned, actually both of you just returned from the Dominican. Would you mind telling me a bit about your experience there?
So in the Dominican, we did coral reef restoration. So for the first 2 days, it was the weekend, so we weren't doing anything. We were just like having fun. And then the next 5 days, we would go to the beach, and we would be working on coral reefs, and we would be doing stuff like around the environment, not just to help the coral reefs, but the whole environment. And we learned about like how important the mangroves are to the coral reefs, and how like hurricanes and stuff are ruining it, and water pollution and the temperature change.
So what else goes into environment conservation besides the coral reef restoration? You mentioned that you do other things as well.
Yeah, so we would like plant mangroves. We would build like walls out of leaves just to protect the mangroves when they're small. And we did like a lot around the mangroves because they help like clean the water, which is really good for the coral reef.
Definitely, yeah, that's great. So what motivated you to participate in this particular trip?
I was really interested in it because I obviously wanted to go away on a school trip, and I knew I wanted to do that to learn culture, but also this one particularly, like, I really want to see what it was like in the coral reefs there, because we don't have those here.
That's
You
true.
can't really see them, and this is a great way to get to learn about them.
Yeah, definitely. Are you interested in pursuing conservation or marine biology in the future?
I didn't think I was before, but maybe now, because I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
I think, Lainey, you told me you have an interest in that direction.
Definitely. Well, I think also, like, going on that trip, I really realized I've been out of the country before, but not the school. When you go on these trips, really exposes you to, like, poverty. It shows you both the rich side and the poor side, and we also were really exposed to how much, like, hope they have there, because, like Sonia was talking about with the baseball academies, there's like a less than 1% chance that a lot of those kids are gonna go to play in the States, but they still go through the process of going to school and working every day to play baseball, and just for that slim chance. And also with the mangroves, like, there was a hurricane that were the ones that we were planting years before. There was a hurricane that wiped out all the mangroves, and they just started over and kept going, which I think it's a different perspective there than it is here, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's great. So what would you say to students who are hesitant about traveling abroad?
I say go. It's really fun. I made like a lot of friendships that I'm gonna have hopefully for like a lot longer. Like Lainey,
Yeah.
like I was never really that close with her, and now we're like pretty good
Really
friends. So
close.
it's nice. And then not just like the people you room with, but the people you're on the trip with. It just like brings you to have like a lot more friends, cause like half the people like I knew them, but I never thought that like I never have to be friends with them. And also like I didn't think it was gonna be anything like that. I didn't think it was gonna be as fun as it was. And that was definitely like one of the best trips I've been on, because you just learn so much more than when you're with your family. Like I've been to the Dominican with my family, and we just stayed in like the rich part. So this just opened my eyes to like how the culture is there, how different it is from here and there, and how much more opportunities we have. And it made me like want to like help them in some way to get them more opportunities to be able to like just have a chance to get to do whatever they want.
That's great. All right. So speaking of other travel opportunities, there are 2 trips to Europe coming up for students. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Have you decided where you're going yet?
Yes. So on March 19th, on Wednesday, we're having a virtual travel night. So if any families are listening to this that are parents of 8th through 11th graders, you can go to your email, and there's a RSVP you can do. And these will be for our 2 Europe trips in 26. So we're going to England and Scotland is the first one. And that one is, London, royalty, castles, Stonehenge. You're going to travel up to Scotland, Edinburgh. One of my favorite cities in all of Europe is Edinburgh. And that will also focus on a little bit of a study abroad theme, so going to Oxford and Cambridge and learning about what it would be like to study abroad as well. And that trip's in February. And then we have a trip that's the first week of summer vacation, which is going to Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. But that one is a STEAM trip, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Well, maybe not as much math, but definitely the other ones. We're focusing on using agriculture as a theme, so we're looking at a new evolution of sustainable agriculture. So these are things like the need of engineers, environmental scientists, the farmers themselves, all these marketing, how do you run a business. So these will be themes. It's very hands-on. It's a very hands-on trip. So we're going to be visiting, all kinds of cutting-edge agricultural businesses. But we'll also get to see some palaces and some great art and such in the great capital cities of Brussels and The Hague and such. So Amsterdam. So that's pretty exciting.
Definitely.
So those trips will also be, people can learn about those trips at the festival, and they'll also learn about a trip to Peru at the festival as well. That will take place next year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Amsterdam's a beautiful city. Just don't get hit by a bike. Just look
Yeah.
both ways before you cross the street.
That whole region, they're big bicyclists.
Yes, absolutely. So what would you all say to fellow students to encourage them to take these opportunities to travel abroad?
Don't hesitate. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As a lot of people know, Cuba is no longer visitable for U.S., so there was a slim window, and I took that chance, and now I'm one of the few people that can say they've been. It's a great experience. There's no reason not to. Especially if you're with friends, it just makes it so much more fun.
Definitely. What about you guys?
I mean, Sonia was talking about this, but when I go on vacation with my family, we kind of just sit on the beach all day, and then we go out to dinner at night. And like this trip, it was go 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 like the whole time, which was really good. We got so much in.
Yeah, I felt nice to make like an impact on the society there.
That's
I
awesome.
think that does shock them, though. I'm just laughing because on the way up here, I said that they're slow walkers on these trips. Kids are like shocked at the fact that we're up at like 6 in the morning, and we don't get back to the hotel so sometimes 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and yeah, we're doing the whole time.
That's so funny you mentioned that. That's one of the things that I notice most when I'm abroad is the different walking speeds. I find that I'm a fast walker, and when I'm in Asia, the people just are like crawling. I'm like, please move to the side. I got places to be. It's really funny. It's a very interesting cultural difference. That's besides the point. So, how do you think international travel helps students become more engaged global citizens?
Well, I mean, it's in the name, global.
Yeah.
So having global opportunities just widens your knowledge and helps you understand what other people do, because it's not the same as what someone, basically it's like polar opposites. What we do here will not be the same as someone in Africa who has less opportunities, less chances, and has a whole different life. So mainly experience, knowledge, and just global experience, I guess, as a whole.
Yeah, great. So I hear that there will be some performances during this festival. Now, Lainey, I know that you've got the control of this one.
Yes.
Would you tell me a bit about some of the groups that will be performing?
So there will be a live music concert with music from Europe, Africa, and Cuba. We'll be having talented student musicians perform at this event by showcasing their talents through cultural music. 2 of them will be JJ Rodriguez and Rachel, maybe. They're trying to coordinate right now if Rachel will be part of it, and Joshua Burrell.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Great.
Yeah.
So how did you select the groups that would perform?
JJ's I've always known he's played music, and he also went on the Cuba trip, I'm pretty sure. So we just reached out to him, and we also kind of know him. We've always been like peripherally friends with him a little bit. Also, Josh Burrell plays for a lot of assemblies and stuff, so we've always known that he's been interested in music. So.
And Josh participated last year in the live performance. He put together a group of students from the regional high schools, and they did American jazz. So for the professional groups, we have a band by the Amazigh, which is northern Africa, and they're coming. I reached out to their national headquarters and the president of their organization, the Amazigh People of America, they happens to live in Peabody.
Wow.
So that was like, wow. So he said he could get some people together for me, and so we're very excited about that. And then we'll have classical European guitar. Everyone's playing on traditional instruments relative to their particular music. The students are doing Cuban music. So John Tavano will be playing. He's the guitarist for the MFA, and he lives here in Newburyport.
Yeah, I
so
think we have some of
reached
the
out to him.
CDs over there.
Yeah.
He's definitely been here a couple times.
Yeah, he's so awesome, and he's just always so willing to help. And then we have Harlem 2 to 5. He's a local poet, very well-known poet. Yeah, if
he
you go
came
to
to the high
Poetry
school
Soup.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right? So he will speak to the African American experience, because we always try to have at least one group do something, or someone that does something that is about American culture. And then we have Mamadou. He teaches African drums. And so we'll have African Drum Circle, and people can actually even then participate in the performance.
That's
so
great.
pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's a really awesome mix of professional and students. I'm glad
Yeah.
that there's student involvement in these
Yes.
performances too. So how do you guys think that music and art contribute to cultural understanding?
I think it helps express cultural identity. Someone may not be able to express it in words, so they can express it in a piece of art. And it's also sometimes easier for people to understand it, and more enjoyable for them to understand it in like a piece of art or form of music than just a paper with words on it.
Yeah, music's definitely a universal language.
Totally. Even I think you can feel it more. They're like, even if it's not in our language, especially I think when we went to the Dominican, I could really feel it instead of necessarily knowing what was being said.
Yeah, they all got to dance. You did it
Oh,
in
that's
Cuba
great.
too, and you got that beat, that Latin beat
Yeah.
going, right?
Yeah, I love the wide variety of music there is across
Yeah.
the world. It's so fun. So which performances are you all most excited to see at the festival?
I'm excited for the African Drum Circle. I did it before a couple months ago, and it was really fun to participate in.
What about you, Sonia? What are you most excited to see?
I'm excited to see the student performers. Yeah, I'm excited to see because they're people that we go to school with, and to see them perform would be really cool.
Yeah. What about you, Greg?
I'm excited for the food. Yeah.
Great performance, yeah.
He just wants to skip right over to the important stuff.
All right, great. So what do you guys think participating in events like the International Cultural Festival, or why do you guys think it's important?
I can go.
Okay.
I think it's important to understand how people around the world are living, because here we have so much opportunity, but others don't. So I think it's important to see how good we have it, so we can really take advantage of it, or use our opportunities to help others.
That's really true. I think that going abroad makes you appreciate home more, you know,
Yeah.
the familiarity of things. And honestly, I appreciate the fast food chains around here. I really miss Dunkin' when I'm abroad.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you guys have answers too?
Oh, I agree with Sonia. Definitely just, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sonia said it pretty well.
Yeah,
Really well.
definitely. So what advice would you guys give to someone who wants to be more globally aware and involved?
It's not like a complex process as some may think it is. Really anything can have a global impact if you just apply it. So just really anything you can think of will help.
I think that's a good answer. So one of the things that's a requirement of the program is that they have to do a certain number of community service hours, and that builds up over the 3 years. And one of the things I tell them is that, some community service might be pretty obvious that it is globally connected, but that everything you do can be globally connected, and all you have to do is apply thinking about it. And so, if they're doing a community service and they want to include it into the program, they just have to reflect and write about why they feel that it connects them globally, or why that work connects globally to others. And then you start to really learn and understand that no matter what you're doing, you're having an impact on the world. And I think that's one of the things about the DR trip that I love. It's not the first time I've taken kids there. Is a nonprofit we work with that's restoring this whole lagoon is a family, just a family running it. They started it, they run it, and they've made a huge difference to this area. And I think it's a great opportunity to see that one individual or a small group of people can start to make a huge impact on the world. So I think that that's really a key thing right there.
Definitely. Well, I think what you guys are doing is awesome, taking so much extra time out of your already busy high school schedules to commit so much time to this Global Citizenship Initiative. And I think it will open so many more great opportunities for you to see more of the world, whether it's now in high school or in university or beyond. So, yeah, it's great. Thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Oh yes, and one more thing. Don't forget to attend the International Cultural Festival at Newburyport High School on April 2nd from 6 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. You'll have the opportunity to learn about local indigenous groups and beyond from incredible students like these guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.